I'm a physical therapist assistant here at North Point Orthopedics, and today we're going to be talking about core and core exercises. So to start, your core, it's your transverse abdominis. That's a big band of muscle, and deep internal, it's considered like a girdle that kind of holds everything together in our lower back. And we also have a couple small stabilizing muscles that kind of span up our spine. Now, these exercises are important to do, and your core is supposed to be strong so that it stabilizes movements and makes them nice and fluid. So we're going to start with a couple exercises right now. This is Joe. He is our physical therapist technician. He's going to be helping us. Say hi, Joe.
Hello.
So first we're going to start with something called the posterior pelvic tilt. Now, I want to put this out there that these core exercises, they're going to teach you how to engage your core, but every exercise after that, you should be trying to engage your core during the exercises to make sure that everything stays stable. All right, so first we're going to start bending your knees. So like I said, the first one's called the posterior pelvic tilt. So what I'm going to be doing for a cue here, what I do is I put my hand right under the small of his back, all right there. What I'm going to ask him to do is he's going to try and flatten his back into my hand. So go ahead and try and flatten it. Good. Now, if you're noticing up here, he's not really contracting the six-pack per se, because that's your rectus abdominis. That's different muscles. We don't want to contract those. So the hardest part is to push your back into the table and make sure you're still able to breathe through this, that everything up here is nice and relaxed. It should be a nice deep contraction right under your belly button almost. I'm going to have him hold it for 5 seconds, 10 times. And when I feel he's getting pretty good with it, I can take my hand away and just have him go to town. You okay?
Yes.
I hope so. All right, so the next exercise we're going to be doing, it's called a glute set. It's very easy actually, but it's very important because those glutes that you have, your butt muscles, actually help in tandem with your core. So what you want to start is you just stay flat just like this, and I'm going to ask you to squeeze your butt muscles. So just squeeze, hold it for 5 seconds. Go ahead and squeeze and relax. Good. So he's going to be doing this 10 times to start. When it gets pretty easy, which shouldn't be too difficult, you're going to be doing 2 sets of 10 with 5-second holds. All right, so the next good core exercise that we're going to have Joe do is called the plank. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this. So what he's going to be doing is, you can see his toes are right here, his elbows are right there. And for those that have a lot of difficulty lifting their whole body, can just do it on their knees. So first I want you to stay on your knees and do it. So just straighten out the back a little bit. It's pretty good. So I'm just going to kind of adjust him a little bit lower right there. Perfect. He's just as straight as a board right now, not twisted or anything like that. It's nice having someone else with you to watch you do it. That way they could kind of see your imperfections, because it might be a little hard to notice on your own. You okay?
Yep.
Good. Not a bad core. You're not shaking. Good. Come back down. Now, if being on the knees is pretty easy, you can do what Joe is about to do and put your toes on the table. Now, when he does this, go ahead and lift. It's great, actually. I don't really have to correct him. I'm just coming behind him, looking at his pelvic alignment, making sure he's not twisted at all. Looks good. I'm seeing a little bit of tremors, so we're starting to challenge him a little bit, so this is good. How's it feel?
Good.
Good. Come back down. So with those reps, you could start, if it's pretty difficult, you could start with 10 seconds. You want to do like at least 5 reps, ideally 10. When it gets pretty easy, you just up that duration. So instead of 10 seconds, you go to 15 seconds, from there 20, and then 30 seconds. And ideally, if you get to a minute, that's excellent. All right, so the next exercise is called a side plank. So not only are we getting a little bit core in here again, but we're also kind of engaging the obliques as well. So he's in a sideline position right now. He's on his elbow. Again, if he wanted to do it on his knees, that's possible. All he has to do is just bend his knees. And then what he's going to do is kind of lift his pelvis off of the table. Go ahead and lift. Very good. So come on over here in the front. You can really see how he's not twisted at all too much, right? It looks good. A lot of the times you get people that kind of rely on this, or their pelvis starts dipping a little bit. That's because the core is a little weak still. Again, same duration as the other planks, 10, 15-second holds. You can relax, Joe, sorry. 10, 15-second holds, up at the 30-second holds. Eventually a minute would be excellent. And then you want to do both sides, of course, make sure you're even. So when being on the knees is getting pretty easy with the knees bent like this, you can come on your feet now. It's going to be a longer lever. So go ahead and lift. Much harder, right, Joe?
Yes.
There you go. So if you come back, you can see he's not twisted. This is a perfect side plank form, actually. It looks great. You can relax. Same duration for those as well. So the next exercise we're going to be doing is called the dead bug. We do have different variations of it, so this is going to be the easiest variation of it right now. I don't know if you guys have this at home, but it's a really helpful tool. What I would like to do is put this right on his belly. His hands are going to be right in the front of the ball, just like this. Now, what I'm going to ask him to do, as he's breathing, of course, is to push down with his hands into his knees. So he's going straight horizontal push. Feel your stomach kind of tighten? That's it. Hold it for 5 seconds. You can start with 10 reps, work your way up to 20. And the next one is called a dying dead bug in a sense. So what he's going to be doing is we're going to be contracting the transverse abdominis, like I was saying, but we're going to get a little bit of obliques in there as well. So he's going to be doing his left hand is going to push into the right knee. Feel the difference?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So he holds that for 5 seconds, does 10, and then he could switch hands, right arm to the left knee. How about that? You feel on the side still?
Yes.
Good. Again, 5 seconds, 10 times, work your way up to 20. Now, if you did not have the ball, there's different variations of this as well. We'll start with one of the easier ones. Remember that pelvic tilt that we did first? You're gonna be doing that. So go ahead and hold the pelvic tilt. Keep your stomach tight, make sure you're breathing and everything, make sure everything up here is relaxed. One arm kind of goes over your head while you're holding that tilt. Back down, and then alternate arms. Looks great. You can do 10 reps. You don't necessarily have to hold this one. And then when this gets easy, go ahead and bring both arms down. You could start with your legs now. So one leg goes straight while you're holding that pelvic tilt, comes back, other leg goes straight. Pelvic tilt, hold back. Let's feel.
That's
Okay?
good.
Awesome. Now, after both of those get pretty easy, you combine them. So you'll have to alternate. So the right leg is going to go straight, left arm goes up while you're holding that pelvic tilt. This is when it gets pretty intense. Again, you could start with 10 reps. After a couple times of doing it, it gets easy. You could work your way up to 15, 20 reps is ideal. Good. Now another variation of this is where the legs are straight. And then you still alternate. But now instead of going down with the leg, you go up with the leg. So left arm goes up, right knee goes up. Yeah, just kind of bend it, bring it into your chest just like that. Good. Make sure that stomach's tight, holding that pelvic tilt. You okay?
Yes.
Good. So there's a couple different variations that you could do of a dead bug. So the next exercise we're going to be doing is called hip adduction in a hook lying position. So hook lying is where both of your knees are bent, feet flat on the table. Hip adduction is where we're bringing in, just like this, okay? So I have a ball right here. You can use a towel, a pillow, large bed sheet, whatever you got, all right? I put the ball right in between his knees just like this, and all I'm gonna ask him to do is just a nice squeeze, hold it for 5 seconds. I want you to start with 10 reps, okay? When 10 reps is easy, you kind of up it to 15, and if it's still easy, you go to 20. So as he's doing this, he's making sure that he's breathing, he's not holding his breath, right, Joe?
Right.
Good. And that's it. He'll feel it on the groin a little bit, but we're getting some core activation in here as well. And then from here, if this is pretty easy and you don't have any back issues especially, what I want him to do is squeeze the ball and lift your butt at the same time. This exercise makes you engage your core. Come back down. You don't necessarily have to hold this exercise. However, if it's pretty easy, you can give it a 3 to 5 second hold. And you can start with 10 reps. You could work your way up to 20. All right, so the next core exercise is called a bird dog. I'm sure some of you have heard this one as well. So not only do you want to keep that core tight, making sure you're not rotating at the pelvis when you're doing these, but this actually helps work all of those spinal stabilizers that we talked about earlier, up and down. So what we can do is start easy, progress your way up. Work with your hands first, okay? So he's gonna make everything straight, making sure he's not rotating. He's gonna lift one of his arms straight in front of him. Good, great, no rotation or anything. Come back down, then the other arm. He just alternates. Now when this is getting pretty easy, what you can do is do your legs now. Don't worry about your hands, just your legs. Great. So he's not rotating at all. Nothing is, translating anywhere it shouldn't be. Yeah, a little bit like that. There you go. Good. I was wrong. He did rotate a little bit. Much better. Now it's perfect ever since I corrected it. Now, when those get easy, you combine the two again. So his right leg and his left arm will go straight. This is much, much more difficult because now you're going to work on rotation. You really have to stabilize up and down your spine, making sure all the muscles are really tight. You want to start with 10 reps for those, and then of course you could work your way up. So the next exercise we're going to do is called a standing ball press. It's exactly what it sounds like. So we do have a nice squishy ball here that we use in PT. However, if you have a tall enough table or a couple books to stack on the table to make it about yay high so you're not leaning forward to push, that'd be excellent. That works. So what he's going to be doing, he's going to be standing as tall as he can, and he's going to give a little bit of extra pressure down into that ball. And if he really focuses, he could feel that deep contraction that's happening in his stomach. All right, feel it?
Yes.
Perfect. This is a nice, easy one. You actually get a little bit of balance in there as well, just from pushing. So just make sure you're challenging yourself. 5-second holds 10 times. It's not necessarily a core exercise, but it's something to watch out for when you're at home. Sitting posture, okay? When we are slouched, you're not really engaging your core at all. However, if you come look at Joe's posture on the side, you can tell his chest is up, his back is straight. He's really working to sit tall right now. And when we are working to sit tall, you actually are getting a lot of core work in there. Now, if he wanted to even focus more on the core, he could actually suck his belly button in a little bit without tightening his stomach and still breathing. You should feel a nice deep contraction. You'll be surprised how difficult it is to sit this straight for as long as you need. Eventually you will end up slouching. So it's always good to practice this. All right, thanks for stopping by to check out our core exercises. And remember, if any of these exercises cause you pain, please stop doing them and see your doctor immediately. Thanks.